Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the start for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, first, we're going to give our thoughts on the television series version of Michonne versus Andrea from the comic book series. Alright, and major spoiler warning, if you are not caught up for the Walking Dead comic book series, I really don't want to ruin this for any of you guys. I did a review yesterday, that was Wednesday, for the Walking Dead issue 167. It's an absolutely humongous issue. I recommend you watch that video before you watch this one. You can pause me, and I'll put the link in the description for you guys so you can check it out just to find out the events of what happened in that issue, 167, humongous issue. So check it out if you guys haven't seen that yet. And yeah, kind of spoilers for that and the fate of what happens in that issue with one of our characters, which we kind of knew was happening, and basically yesterday we got the confirmation 100% that in fact Andrea is, spoiler warning, Andrea's dead. So it brings in a lot of questions for the Walking Dead comic book series, but also the TV series as well too, which the first question right off the bat I got quite a bit. Vegeta X1 says, he's got a picture of Imagine Vegeta, so I like that, it's pretty cool. Trev, the death of Andrea was sad because I grew to care about the comic version, unlike that, see you next Tuesday, we got in the TV series, or the TV show. My question is whether or not you think TV Michonne will have the same fate as the Walking Dead comic book series version of Andrea. So a lot of us have thought up until now that the TV series version of Michonne equals Andrea. That she is filling in that role because Andrea in the TV series had been killed off earlier in Season 3 with the Governor story arc and the things that were happening there. So it brings into question now, are we going to see basically the same thing happen with Michonne? So do we think that the 167 issue death, which had featured Andrea's death, is going to be translated in the TV series eventually in a number of seasons to Michonne, because it's kind of like they filled the same role up until now? I almost think that Kirkman might be doing it for another reason. I actually think he might be in reverse syncing the comic up to the TV series version. By killing Andrea off there, Michonne could potentially kind of get with Rick in the comic book series, maybe in a couple years or something, when people wouldn't be resistant to it and angry about it. Obviously, he's going to want to have someone to comfort him, and Andrea's dead now. Michonne has already kind of started to do that in issue 167. She puts her head on his shoulder. She's always there for him. She fights for him. She talks with him. She kind of helps him through it a little bit, and mentions about Andrea and her strength and kind of how stubborn she was. So, like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm not entirely sure that we will see Michonne killed off in similar fashion in the TV series, because what might happen is Rick and her might get together in the comics, which would make it kind of all fit in place anyway, because Andrea was killed off in Season 3, but now Andrea's killed off in 167, so either way, Andrea just lasted a different amount of time between the series, and then Michonne could ultimately be Rick's kind of long-term love, I suppose, if that is what happens in the comics. So right now it's just kind of a theory. We'll see, and I want to hear from you guys. Write your comments below. Do you think that we're going to see Michonne killed off in a similar timely fashion, meaning it may not be exactly the same death, but we would see her be killed off in the TV series at around the same time to like remix it, that kind of thing? Or do you think that maybe, what I'm thinking could be correct too, which is that we're seeing a reverse time sync, where even though the TV series had this happen, the comic series is kind of updated because of the TV series and kind of made those two work together. It'd be a long-term thing to do because, of course, Rick and Michonne are not together yet. Andrea just died. But long-term, I'm thinking that might be what we'll see. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's interesting for one, and just from the issue, the way Michonne's there for him and everything, it really looks to me like maybe we would just see, we're kind of seeing Kirkman sync up the comic book series to the TV series so that they both have kind of the same thing in the long run, and have it make sense for Rick to be with Michonne in both, maybe, which is crazy. That'd kind of be like the reverse of, usually the TV series is made based on the comic book series elements, and it's kind of remixed and it's changed, but it's based on that. This would be one of the first times, I think, that Kirkman would change the comic book series because of something that happened in the TV series. You see what I'm saying? So that would be that'd be kind of crazy, but that might be what we're seeing here. We'll see, and write your comments below. I'll put a poll right here. Do you guys think simply Michonne will be killed off in basically the same way as Andrea was, or do you think that maybe I got something to this, maybe this theory could work out, and that actually what we're seeing is Kirkman adjust it, kill her off, so that Michonne will be Rick's long-term love interest in both going forward? Let me know what you guys think and vote in the poll and write your comments below. Next one's from Jack Frankie, who says, Andrea will be missed badly. In it from issue 2. Crazy death. Trev, do you think it was as big as Glenn's? In my opinion, it isn't, but it's still heartbreaking. So that's cool. You looked it back to issue 2, man. I didn't even remember that she showed up originally in issue 2 because I haven't read that trade, and it's the volume #1 in so many years, days gone by. Yeah, man, it is crazy. I'm still kind of sad about it. You know, it's kind of messed me up psychologically, and you could say I'm such a Walking Dead geek, but it's true, man. I mean, I've been reviewing the series for so long. You know, the characters, you know, you grow to care for the characters, and when you see someone killed off, it is pretty sad. Is it as big as Glenn's? I'm going to say no. I don't think it is as big as Glenn's was. You know, for some reason that issue 100, you know, the brutality of it, the way everything went down with Glenn's, it was just so, like, you know, monumental. It was so huge. Issue 100 and Negan being introduced and everything as a super badass villain. I think that's still the biggest death in the series, I want to say, in the comic book series version. Of course, there was Laurie as well, too, and Judith and that. But I think maybe I'll go with Glenn's. We'll have to see when they eventually translate this with the you know, into the TV series, and if they do kill off Michonne, then it could kind of go down. I really think we can't ignore the fact that the TV series is so popular and so big, and its effect on the comic book series and how we view it. I don't think we can separate those two and really say that that it has no effect or it has nothing to do with it. I would go with Glenn's as the biggest, but this one was huge. It was really sad and really heartbreaking as well too. But it wasn't as you know, it didn't instill the same amount of fear, and it wasn't as brutal. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well too. This was a really shocking, unexpected one and sad, but that one was just brutal and felt wrong, right? Jack Goldberg says, so now we know Michonne dies. Shit. So I would argue we don't 100%. We don't know for sure that she's going to die 100%. We'll have to see what happens with her. But I'd almost say that my prediction from now, again, I have a tendency to overthink things a lot. I overthought the Andrea death, and I really thought there'd be a twist and that she wouldn't be killed. And it was simply the dumbed down, yeah, she is. She's just dead. And there's nothing more to the story. It's not more complex than that. I tend to read into things a bit much, so maybe you're right. Maybe it's pretty simple that she will just be killed off at the same time. But I tend to think like maybe it's not that. Maybe it's because if he kills her off, then he could have Michonne be with Rick in both versions, and it would kind of make sense together. It would just be a different, pretty big remixed or a pretty big different version in terms of when Andrea is killed. That's for sure. Derek Moat says, Trev, thanks so much for not whining about ad revenue and telling people if they don't donate money to your channel will end because you'll have to get a job. So, and he says, oh yeah, you actually do have a job and still make videos every day. Yeah, thanks, Derek. Yeah, so what's going on with YouTube right now? If you guys don't know about it, I'll link to The Verge in the comments or the description below. So basically, what's going on and what's been happening on YouTube is the last month, basically, nobody's making any advertising revenue from YouTube. Basically, unless you're like somebody who's getting like millions of views, you know, a month, like tons and tons of, I mean, like 5 million views a month maybe. You probably are not going to make a living on YouTube right now with what it's doing. So there's a lot of YouTubers that are producing videos and really upset about it. Nobody in particular. I mean, it's a widespread thing. It's happening all over YouTube. There's like an advertiser boycott. The Verge covered it. Basically, some of them started to back out, and then a lot of them backed out because of possible hate speech on YouTube. There are advertisements showing up next to, you know, videos that were not something they wanted to advertise in. So the customers, you know, they pulled their boss card and they said, we're out, man. Goes back to show, you know, basically, you know, the customer is, your top boss. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. If all those customers go away, your revenue dries up, your cash flow dries up, your job goes away, right? That's the way it is. So there was a while ago, there was a thing where YouTube was starting to penalize channels that were swearing, that were doing things like that. And a lot of YouTubers pushed back. There's some bigger YouTubers, I won't mention who, really big YouTubers, I'm talking like millions of subs, these kind of people, who pushed back and were like, no, I want to swear, I want to be able to do this. And again, the customers decided, they put their foot down. We're the boss, not you. And basically the pendulum swung. Like, it went this way for YouTube to say, hey, creators, stop swearing and doing hate speech and doing stuff like this. Creators pushed back, so YouTube decided, okay, maybe it's not so bad. And now the advertisers pulled out, and so it's caused this whole crazy ruckus. People are trying to make a living on YouTube, they can't make it happen, basically, is what it is. So it's unfortunate for them, for sure. Bart Van Wesenbeeck said, Trev, I'm hearing a lot of YouTubers like yourself are having problems with getting revenue from a channel because of ad boycotting. Are you having problems with that? Is it affecting your YouTube work? Hope not, and keep uploading the nice videos. So it's not affecting me at all, bro. I mean, I'm just, I do this because I love it. I love that you guys support the channel. I love that you guys are here, and I'll be here as much as I can be, and continuing to do what I'm doing. I'll keep trying for 7 days a week, keep trying to produce every day for you guys. It's not about money. It really isn't. And I think if anything else, this last month may show you guys as viewers who's doing it because they enjoy it and who's doing it because they really want to make a lot of money, right? Who's doing it for money. For me, I'm just going straight on forward. This is what I'm doing. I really don't care about money. The house I live in is, like a 60-year-old house, 70-year-old house. I drive a car that costs like $3,000. I don't care about, I like my figures, but I don't care about stuff, really. I don't care about money. I don't care about stuff. That's not what it's about. It's about, doing something that's important to you. This is important to me. That's why I'm going to do this regardless. And I'll continue to try and post for you guys every day, pretty much. Maybe even overcompensate a bit, because last year I don't think I was posting every single day. But I'll continue. Don't worry about it, guys. No big deal. I would say, though, if some people are in a bad way on YouTube, that kind of thing, and you really like them, so, maybe support them if you can, if you can swing it. I mean, it's it's tough. It's what happens. No matter what industry you're in, sometimes there's ups, sometimes there's downs. For people who are YouTube entertainers, it's kind of an all-time down right now. So it's what it is. But hey, what can you do? It happens. And, I mean, everybody's got to save some cash, right? We all do. We all have to, save a little bit regardless for the downswings. If you have a job and you get laid off, you want to have some saved. If you get fired, you want to have even more saved. This stuff happens. So you got to be prepared for the rainy days. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm good. Don't you worry about TC2. It's going to continue. Basically, nothing changes. It's all good stuff. We'll do a couple more. Andrew Ortiz says, "What if The Walking Dead ended with Rick finally building a ridiculously huge community, and with him rebuilding society to where nobody can mess with them any more than the finale? Rick goes back to the hospital and opens the doors, the do not open dead inside doors. Then it ends. This would symbolize how much Rick has changed when he first woke up from the hospital, when he was weak, scared, and frightened, to now him walking in there strong, hardened, fearless. With him opening the door, it would bring back where Rick first woke up in the zombie apocalypse, and now he came back to where he himself ended the apocalypse. Would also show how he was scared to open that door at first, to now him being fearless with him opening the door. So, that would be cool. Any kind of throwback to kind of the beginning would be really cool. Of course, I think it makes a lot of us think of the beginning with the death of Andrea and everything like that. Yeah, we'll have to see what Kirkman has in store, but I like your idea. I think that would be really great. And anything where, you have Rick, I want to see Rick triumphant. I wouldn't really want to see Rick have the kind of death that Andrea had here and have that be the end of it, unless Carl or somebody takes up the mantle afterwards and does succeed in kind of restarting civilization. So that's kind of what I always want to see from the series. We'll see if that's where Kirkman goes with it. I think that's where he's going, and I like your idea of having sort of an artifact, which would be your doors, to refer back to the beginning and show the change. So I like your idea. That's a great idea. That'd be cool. Anything like that kind of reverts back to the beginning and to show how much he's grown, how much they've changed, and what's happened. The last one will be from him also. He says seasons 1, 2, and 3 are greater than 4, 5, 6, and 7. So he likes the first 3 seasons better than 4, 5, 6, and 7. I just don't know, man. I mean, I know the first season's shorter, second season's shorter, third season's also pretty action-packed and fun. But, I mean, you know, I don't see it, like, because the show got so big, you know, they started adding on so many zombies and so much stuff. Maybe it's just a nostalgia thing, or maybe it's because it was so fresh at the beginning. Maybe that's why, you know, you feel that way. I'm not sure. But for me, you guys know my order where I go, you know, and I get what you're saying. In terms of the drama, you have an argument there. And it was really cool at the beginning and nostalgic. But I'm going to go with 6-5, you know, and then the others after that. 6 and 5 still being my favorite. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left, to go ahead and subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the support, guys. Don't worry about the channel. It's going to continue on strong, and gonna make the videos as much as I can for you guys with whatever time I have in and around my regular, you know, day job and that. That'll be it for this one, guys. Leave a comment below. I'll see you again probably tomorrow for another. So, this is Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.